Okay, let's get right into it. Welcome to the other pod, Talking to Todd Production. Failure's still an option over here. Hey, Todd.
Nate, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. How are you?
I'm having a better week than some of the people we're going to be talking about. So that's,
Oh, yep.
but not as good a week as others. So somewhere in between.
Okay, I get it. Do we want to do a disclaimer?
It's the other pod, our podcast, or our politics. It's politics, our politics. Please feel free to skip if you don't want to listen to it. The other one's got the jokes nominally. Yeah, this is boiling down. This is getting shorter and shorter each time.
Yeah, yeah. On this one, the jokes are some of the people running for office.
Oh, are we doing a Royce White update? Oh,
No,
sorry.
no, no.
No.
We have opted out
Yes.
of all Royce White updates. Lunatic.
All right, we took a week off. So what are we talking about this week?
We do. What would Todd do? Post convention.
Yes.
Any regrets? Did the Democratic convention go as well as it possibly could have?
I think you could make an argument that it went better than it possibly could have. And while a lot of factors go into that, if you had to boil it down, I believe Little John actually set the bar in the roll call. They managed to put the convention managed to bring a level of energy, excitement, and positivity while still covering here's what we're fighting against, but did it in a way of that looked like a fun place to be where you wanted to be part of it.
Yeah. Well, and this was, I mean, let's face it, this was going to be a funeral.
Yeah, a couple of times I was like, I wonder how quickly they had to change everything because this what they were not going to get this if Biden had stayed in the race, that was not going to be this convention. As a matter of fact, I had heard through a podcast I listened to about the entertainment industry called The Town. One of the people they had on who is they were talking about Harris's background in politics and how that covers with media because she's from California. Her husband is a lawyer in the entertainment sphere. So they brought in a political person that also understood that. But this reporter was saying until she became the nominee, they were having problems booking people to even perform at the DNC. And they pretty much any celebrity that wanted to show up, they were like, yeah, no problem. We can get you tickets, we can get you whatever. And once Harris became the nominee, the people volunteering to be on stage and perform outnumbered the number of slots they had. And it was getting to be difficult to get VIP celebrity tickets because they had given out their allotment.
Well, and political speakers. I mean, there were politicians running away from this event. Democrats.
Yes.
And they had the same problem. Now, they had the same problem with entertainers that they had with politicians, which they did not seem to be able to get under control on the very first night because people ran over. And this isn't a new comment. I heard other people say this, but for the first time in years, I went to bed before Joe Biden did that night. Did you hear anybody say that?
No, I did.
Okay.
No,
that was new to you. Okay,
yeah,
there you
that
go.
was a new one. I think the other interesting piece, at minimum, you were talking like at minimum, the bar was get out of it unscathed, but realistically, they needed the bump. But if you take a look at if you think about the roll call, which was normally just this whatever thing and change it into fun music. Like,
Yeah.
whoever had that idea, just brilliant, right? So you've got the roll call, fun and exciting. Then you've got Michelle, and then Barack, right? I think the only thing I would say of the regrets, and I don't know, I miss Barack. I will say this: you saw him speak, and you're like, oh man, he's really really good at this, like super good, and not just at the this is what's at stake, but also sort of that, hey, by the way, everybody, I'm talking to you, like, you're gonna have to also, like, it was the, hey, we can't apply a single litmus test and look for perfect candidates in our own party. Like, we gotta do some of the work here too. It's not like, oh, there is very few people in the Democratic Party who can, I don't know if I'm gonna say scold, but it was kind of a scold people, and at the end of it, I think make them feel better about being scolded than they started with, right? And then you've got, so then you got that, and you've got the joke that,
Yes. He has this obsession with crowd sizes.
oh, what did my hands do?
Oh. I also, for the first time in years, the Democrats managed to escape the circular firing squad.
Yes, there was a level of organization and on pointness in that you don't normally see from the Democratic Party.
I was impressed with that. The message discipline. I listened to an interview about somebody complaining because they're part of a group opposed to the Israeli Gaza Palestinian conflict, and they wanted time on the stage and promised not to say anything really inflammatory, but still wanted to be recognized because this is a problem. And there was none of that.
Yeah. Yes. Which is, again, it's sort of like, it's a big tent. We have lots of things there are lots of ideas on the table, but right now we all need to be headed in the same direction.
Well, maybe we said this separately. I don't remember. Maybe it was Amy and me talking. If you have a primary fight and you have to take positions and you have to have debates and try to distinguish yourself among, 3 or 4 or 12 Democrats trying to get elected, then you've got people that have staked out positions, or
Yeah.
I put my money behind Pete or Bernie or Hillary or whoever, and then I'm committed, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to bring everybody together. We didn't have to do that.
Yes. Right. I mean, in order to get a party's nomination, no matter which party, you have to run. Usually, you have to run to the outside of the party, and then as soon as whoever gets the nomination, then you have to run back to the center, right? Just because of the way that things work. Well,
Right.
there was no running out to one direction or the other because there wasn't that, and to your point, it wasn't even having to stake a claim in anywhere. So, yeah, I mean, there is an argument. We're not going to learn this lesson. So when England called for their elections, right?
Yes.
So within the parliamentary system, you have to have an election once every 5 years, but you can call for an election sooner, and they did earlier this year. And once you call for the election, it's a 6-week campaign. So from the time the election is, by the way, here's the date. It is 6 weeks. You have to do the campaigning, you have to do whatever it is there is, and then you vote, and then you have a prime minister the next day. This is our version of that, kind of, on the Democratic side. And it's interesting because I think part of this is the to your point, yes, there's not a lot of positions, which is at this point pretty useful because you don't have to soothe over the warring factions, right? That had already, right?
Yes.
At the same time, you can keep people's interest and energy up for 3 months. The 18-month slog that we normally go through, right? Hey, by the way, it's the August before the election and everybody's at the Iowa State Fair. Like, you can't keep people's interest. Nobody cares that long about this stuff except very few people.
The news channels care
Yes.
because they think it drives their eyeballs, which for them it does, but nobody else cares.
Yes. So hey, guess what? We're going to do this in 90 days.
Sign me up.
You could make an argument that you get if you took the exact same amount of interest and the exact amount of caring, but instead of dividing it over 12 to 14 months, you pack it into 90 days. I mean, it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. But I think what you saw at the convention is it was like, oh, can they keep this up? And it's like, for what, 76 days? Lots can go wrong in the world in 76 days, right? We're one news cycle away from something happening overseas or inside the US. Like, anything could be derailed. But barring those outside forces, can you keep up the momentum, the excitement? Yes, you can. I think the other piece is, it was so interesting. If I think about the moments of it, and again, by the way, I didn't watch the DNC convention 4 years ago. Like, most of the stuff, even though I love politics, this is not politics. This is just
it's a 4-day commercial.
It's a 4-day commercial. Walz's speech is remembered not for what he said, but for the reaction of his son. This genuine reaction, and then, in many ways, that right there summed up what a lot of how this election is being positioned. His son, with his learning disabilities, being proud of his dad and all of that, and then being attacked for not being man enough or whatever. It's like, that was a weird. Again, that's like the entire election is, oh yeah, you don't want to, can you believe that? Kids crying. Like, we don't want that. Like, I don't know. It was the Republicans and it wasn't a lot of, it wasn't specifically a lot of the Republicans, but that was a don't touch that situation. And they thought, aha, I'm going to make hay on this. And it's like, your instincts are bad. Your instincts are bad.
Yeah. And again, not, it was famous Republicans. It was Ann Coulter. It wasn't the rank and file doing this.
Right.
And I saw somebody post something about, 5 years ago, you guys made fun of Barron Trump. I'm like, if that happened, and I'm not denying that it did, but I don't remember Nancy Pelosi making fun of Barron Trump, right? Or Rachel Maddow, or, pick another leading Democratic, right, that was, leading the charge. I mean, that it was if it happened, it was fringe outliers that, are just trolls.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of time for trolls in either party.
True. And I will say, not 100%, but normally what has happened in the past is when the outliers and the trolls of your party go off script, the party takes care of that themselves, right? I mean,
They don't double down on it. Is that what you're saying?
hey, and I'm not calling this a troll. But I'm thinking back to, hey, Al Franken, you got to go. You got to go, bud. You can't stay here, right? Yeah. Anyway, so that was interesting
for something in 2024 that would be viewed as marginal at best.
And would qualify you as a VP candidate for the other party in 2024.
Yeah.
And then I think, and then the last piece of that then is Harris has to come out, has to convince everybody that yes, she can be commander in chief. Like, this is, also got significantly higher. The DNC and her got significantly higher ratings than the RNC and Trump, which has got to just annoy people. But I think she did what she needed to do. She came out. It was funny. So many people were like, she didn't lean into identity about this. And it's like, yeah, because there's other things at stake here. Like, you guys, it is self-evident. So let's just move on. I also found it interesting with Kinzinger and a couple of the Republicans that came up, like, that were staking their claims. The one thing when listening to some of those is the one thing I would have sprinkled in. And again, this goes back to, don't go after the Republicans, go after the leaders of the current leaders of the Republican Party. As whether it was Kinzinger or other people were going after Trump for his policies. And I literally was like, this is a bizarro world, right? Because now we're talking about funding the military and funding the police. Like the DNC, their platform this year sounded like the RNC's platform, like parts of it did, like 12 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But I would have sprinkled in one of the speeches somewhere in there. And again, it works with Kinzinger about, this isn't the people who are leading it, this isn't my party. I would have said, one of the toughest, most pro-American presidents we've ever had is Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan stood on a platform and said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. He didn't say, quote, do whatever you want. Like, holy crap. I should have gone there, because I think that speaks to, the current leadership of the Republican Party has gone way, way far afield. Now, praising Ronald Reagan at a DNC might be a step too far. Yeah. We can clean that up later. You know what? We make today's decisions today. We deal with that tomorrow. So no, I don't think there was any. I mean, I thought it was great. I thought they did everything they needed to do. I thought it managed to exceed expectations. I think I was just, overall, they did a fantastic job.
So the next big thing on the radar is the debate. Assuming it happens.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. The last I heard, the conflict was over whether or not the mics would be muted.
Yes.
And when the debate was agreed upon, it was agreed that they would be muted. And that was a request of Biden's camp.
Yes.
Right. And now the Harris camp says, you know what? Open mic's good with us.
Yeah.
Let him talk. And Trump's camp says, no. No. We got to keep the mics off when they're not talking. I wonder why that is. If you were doing this, would you fall? Where do you think the greater benefit is? Keeping Trump from saying crazy things and interrupting you, or letting Trump say crazy things?
Oh, at this point, no. I mean, this is an entire referendum on him. I mean, it is. He's losing it. I mean, he's you see the stuff he's reposting. He thinks he's posting at 2:00 in the morning or whatever. And again, Harris keeps reminding us over and over that she was a prosecutor. You want to provoke him in a way. If you were concerned, let me just put it this way. If you were concerned about him being a great orator, you don't want to provoke him. You know that he is easily provoked, gets easily distracted, and can't stay on message. Or, here's the thing. If he is contained, when he is contained, he is super low energy. Because we have seen him contained. But when he's contained, he is quiet, low energy.
Falls asleep in court.
Even some of his speeches, when he's just so we're here about the immigration and the thing, and like he can't bring the energy and stay in control. So no, you want the microphones open. You want him interrupting. You want to be completely honest. You want to get apart some of your, again, you still have to give people a reason to vote for you. So this isn't 100% negative, but he is provocable, and it's getting easier and easier to get under his skin. And everybody knows the play now. You want to do that. You want to show that he can't handle it, because at some point, if that happens, you do then want to say, well, what you really want to say is, you couldn't even be quiet for 30 seconds. How the heck are you going to go on the world stage, right? Like, you just, again, poke the bear and put him under pressure. And here's the thing. It is better, quite frankly, and they shouldn't have. He's going to talk whether the microphones are on or not. This, I think, was actually a mistake made by the Biden thing, because I think if the microphone is on, yes, then he's interrupting. I expected him against Biden. He was just going to start talking, but nobody could hear it except for Biden. And then it seems like Biden is getting lost, right? Like, well, why can't he? Because Trump's over there talking. Do you remember during the debate against Hillary, at one point he was wandering around like an SNL skit behind, like lurking behind,
yes,
right?
Yes. Anything
to throw people off. You need to call out that he's trying to throw you off. Not like, it was looked at as this would keep him on track. No, don't keep him on track. Call out what he's doing. I don't know. How about you? What's your thoughts?
I want to let him go. I want to let him talk. Yeah, let him give him the rope he needs to, I guess, hang himself. I do. I think because he's, like you said, he clearly cannot keep from going down whatever rabbit hole strikes him, whatever shiny object, catches his eye, he will go after it. Just let him do his thing. And I think the electorate will take care of itself.
Well, and I think I came up with, I don't know if you saw a couple of days ago, he retruthed a bunch of QAnon right-wing crap. Just sexist, racist crap.
Yes.
Including a picture with Hillary and Harris captioned about a sex act and how that helped how it changed, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I thought, I'll tell you what, if I'm Harris, and she's using this already. I mean, she's used this phrase before this came out. But if I'm Harris, at one point, whether it makes sense within the debate or not, just break the rules. No, the rules don't care. Nobody cares. People want to see fireworks or whatever. If there's a way to do this around this specific topic, I would. But otherwise, I almost guarantee you that one of these things is going to be, because she's already gone out on speeches and say, you got something to say it to my face. She's using that in her campaign. If she doesn't pull that out in the debate, look straight at him and say, this is what you said. If you've got something to say to me, say it to my face. I'll give you my time. You can have your time and my time. So again, it's not just the open mic. Quite frankly, you need some extra time to do whatever the hell it is that you're doing here. Have an extra 30 seconds. Like, I want to hear more of this.
And I tell you, I think Kamala will do that. I do. I think she'll do it.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You do that. The moderator, that's not the rules. No. You said it. Say it to my face. And it puts him in one of two positions. Position one is he doubles down on it and looks terrible.
Yeah.
Right? Well, three things are going to happen. Number one, he just doubles down, looks terrible. Number two, he tries to explain it with that QAnon logic shit that, well, if you understood the ballots in this county versus this county and blah, 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 which just, insanity. Or number three, he backs down. All three are positives for her.
Yes.
There's no version of that that he scores points. And that's really what you want to do in the debate, right?
Yes.
You want to put him into a box and says, look, there's only a couple of ways out of this, and I win every single one. And the thing is that I know that her team knows this and is figuring out where to put him into the box. His team knows this and is trying to figure out how they're going to put him into the box. The problem is that Harris's team is going to say, here's how to put him in the box. And she's going to take that and go, I have the game plan. Understood. His team's going to say, you need to watch out for this. And he's going to say, oh, don't worry about it. I got this.
I got
I'm going to do what I do best. Oh, God.
Oh,
Please
Lord.
don't do that.
Oh, we're about out of time here. I think we may have to leave it there. The Other Pod is a Talking to Todd production. Our theme music is still by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to everyone who listens. Please send your feedback on this episode and every episode to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd, do you have thoughts on political events at cemeteries?
That's not where I thought you were going to go. Yes, don't.
Would you give them a thumbs up? You would not. You would not give them a thumbs up next time.
I don't. There's, again, political malpractice. I don't even understand.
Thanks for tuning into The Other Pod. We'll be back next week.